Welcome back to Art Club. We are going to be making these absolutely adorable, happy and sunshiny suns with rainbows coming off the bottom, streamer rainbow colors coming off the bottom today. So let's get all of our supplies together to create this beautiful wall hanging. We are going to need some glue today, our yellow plate, scissors, our colorful tissue paper, and then one of the things you don't see here in this example, but you could do once you're done with yours, is you could make a little face inside the sun here. So you might want to choose to use like a permanent marker or maybe googly eyes or other markers, anything you might have if you want to decorate yours in once you're done creating it. But those parts are optional. All right, let's get started. I'm going to clear my space here. Now, if at any point, of course, I'm moving a little too fast, feel free to pause the video or to slow it down, whatever works best for you. My first step is going to be to cut my plate in half. And I'm noticing as I'm cutting this that one half is just slightly bigger than the other. That's okay. In fact, if that happens to you too, keep the one that's slightly bigger for the sun portion of it, and this other side we're going to use for the rays. Now, if they're both the same, doesn't matter what one you choose. We're going to set that off to the side for right now, and with my other piece, I'm going to cut, do you see how there's like an arch here in the plate? I'm going to cut another arch that's smaller, that kind of follows that same line, but just in a little bit. So something kind of like this. It's going to look kind of like a piece of macaroni and cheese. Really, right? Doesn't it? Okay, from here I'm going to cut triangles out. So it's going to look like little blocks of cheese. And every now and again between each one you might need to cut another little piece going back the other direction to get those triangles to look right. So I'm just cutting these out here. There is no exact number. The smaller they are, the more rays you'll have around your sun, and the bigger they are, the fewer rays, but they'll be bigger. So either way totally works. So I'm just cutting those on out. Looks like I can probably get maybe one more here. There we go. All right. So our next step is we want to glue these to the edge of our sun. So we're going to need to flip this all over. And what I like to do, I like to kind of line them up to decide where they're going to go. Maybe I'll put that big one in the middle, just so I can kind of see how they're all going to fit on here. Maybe something like, yeah, that looks pretty good, right? I think so. Now the cool thing is, this little arched area is going to match pretty well with this arched area here. So that's where we want all of our glue to go. Now, pro tip for you, we're going to want kind of a lot of glue. Because to hold the paper ray, it's going to require a little bit more glue than we would normally use. I know it's really hard to see white on white, but hopefully you can kind of tell that there's a good amount of glue on there, nice and thick. Okay? And then I'm just going to set it on in there how I had them laid out. And you'll notice, so I'll hold this up in just a second, but you'll notice that they do they like arch back and then come back forward, which is kind of cool. It kind of gives the sun like looks like it's almost like a flame. So you can see how it does that. I'll flip it real quick here. That's what it looks like from the front, but that glue is wet. So I am going to put that off to the side, and we're going to allow that to dry for right now. Okay? In the meantime, while we're allowing this to dry, go ahead and get out that rainbow tissue paper. It probably is, at least mine came folded in half already. I'm going to keep mine folded in half. just like you see here. See how it's still folded in half? Because it's going to be a little easier to cut out this way. I guess I should say it's less time. It's not necessarily easier, but it is less time. So I'm going to try to make sure it matches up the whole way. And then I'm going to go ahead, try my best to cut on that line, separating out the two colors. Now, if we get a little bit of one color into the other, it's really not a big deal. In fact, it kind of looks cool when that happens. But go ahead and take some time to get all of these cut on out. Now, I already actually have them all cut out. So if you need to pause the video right now while you cut yours out too, feel free to do so, and then unpause as soon as you're ready. All right, so here are all of mine that are already cut out. You can see I actually even cut each strip down smaller. So here's what one strip looked like, really, really long. Now, if you want to keep yours that long, you want to have really long streamers hanging from it, you're the artist. You go right ahead. But for me, I thought having them a little bit shorter would work better. So here is my strip of paper, and of course, here's that fold in the center. I'm going to first cut it at that fold, and then I'm actually going to fold it in half again and cut it one more time. So for me, each strip of paper is actually going to give me 4 little streamers. And I just want to show you, you guys can see too that, you know, mine were not cut perfectly. There's still a little purple on my red. Don't worry about it. That's not going to be a big deal at all. So when we're ready, and we've got all of our papers, our streamers cut, we're going to start at the right-hand side with red, orange, yellow, green, blue, purple. So we're going to kind of go backwards from how we would normally read, because when we flip it over, that way it'll be the right way. Now, of course, if you want yours to look a different way, once again, you're the artist. Go right ahead. But I'm going to go ahead and put a line of glue across like that. And I have found that using about 2 of each color seems to work really well for me. Of course, when I glue it on there, I want to make sure that the more bright side is facing what will be the front of my sun. All right, let's get, so there's my red. Come here, orange. There we go. Adding in the orange now. I'm always making sure that the brighter side is facing forward. I'm always checking, yep, that's the brighter side. There we go. If you need to add any more glue at any point, feel free to do that too. I'm kind of overlapping them a little bit, if you notice that. Here we've got our green coming in next. And next will be blue. We're getting our last 2 colors. And finally, our purple. I might only have more, no, I can fit both purples on there, I think. There we go. Excellent. And I'm going to let this dry. I'm not going to flip that over right now, because right now this is all still wet and this is all still wet, and I don't want all my hard work to come undone. But once you do let it dry for, I would say, you know, at least a half hour or so, you can flip it back over then. And if you want to add on some googly eyes, you could, or you could draw some fun little eyes on in there. Maybe give it a little smile too. You could color it in with markers. You could cut out some colorful paper and add maybe some like blushy cheeks to it. But how fun and cute is that? You could hang that on your wall or wherever you need a little bit extra sunshine. We'll see you next time.